Alright, and we're back with some more Metro Exodus, having played Engineer Artyom with the diesel shunter engine and bringing the coach car back to the Aurora. We're now heading to relieve some foes of a tugboat, which we'll use to help get across the bridge. So, before I do that, though... Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted nighttime, not a 2 days time.
I guess I spent too much time in that dump.
Yes, you did.
So, they have more guards than we anticipated.
It seems risky, but Crest says such caravans are usually commanded by a captain. So if we capture him, the others will surrender. They
have about 15 guards. 4 at the tugboat ladder, sentries at the pier. Sam will take the right flank. Come in, Sam.
I'm in position. I can see a guard.
Duke is to the left of the hangar. Come in.
Duke in position, ready to pick the guard off.
Idiot is on the far crane.
Ready for action. Got a mark on everyone on the pier.
Crest has scouted out the basement.
There's only 2 of them here. Busy repairing something, so... this seems to be the best spot for quiet entry.
Well, Artyom, we are all set. You managed to get out of the church quietly, so let's make this one the same.
Yeah, it's no fun beating up immature soldiers like them.
Cut the chatter. All right, Artyom, you're in charge. You call the shots. Perhaps we should wait for dusk. It might be easier then. Some of the guards might fall asleep. You can rest here in the cabin in the meantime.
Okay, what did I want to do? Oh, yes. First, I will equip the new magazine for the gun. It's unfortunately pretty dirty. Look at all the numbers and rivets they put on this thing. They really went out in the detail department. So we'll wait for night.
So are you rested? Well, it's time. So try to get on that tugboat. We'll give you cover. Let's go over the plan one more time. Once the tugboat is in our hands, Sam, Idiot, and I will go back to the Aurora, while Artyom, Duke, and Crest take the boat to the bridge. Good luck, everyone.
Follow me, but shh.
Okay.
You can climb aboard there. I'll distract them. You get on. Hide here and wait for them to pass.
Hey, what was that? We have to check it out. That's the point. Do you have to look for more stuff to do? Well, I sure don't like it, but we gotta check. All right, let's do that. I'll avenge you if you get eaten. Yeah, sure. Just don't shoot my ass, though, okay, you avenging angel?
Attention, behind you.
Let's see, what was that? What is that? Down there!
Attention, on your right.
Getting killed standing guard in a place like this.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Great place to put a guard at. If you have unlimited replacements.
Quick save right here.
Who's that? In the path over there. So, are we going to Nizhny this time? No, we're
Careful,
going
on
back
your
about
left.
20 clicks from there. Fuck those assholes. You're talking about the outpost?
I think it would be a good idea. Honestly, no. I got the tacker, which is silent anyway, or suppressed, so I can destroy lights.
Even if they offer a great amount for a piece of bread, I don't care. I'd sooner go to Baku than there.
Well, they say it's no fun in games over there either.
Nobody knows really. Everybody's just lying their asses off. But we know about Nizhny for sure. See this scarf? There you have it.
Smoke? Damn what I wouldn't give for a smoke right now. Shit, fucking shit is just endless.
Watch out on your left.
Okay, lights out.
Hey, who's that? What the shit? Enemy!
Nope. Damn. Come on, game. Load. Noise, mom. Just saying.
Really? Everybody's just lying their asses off. But we know about Nizhny for sure. See this scar? There you have it.
Okay, let's try this again.
I wonder what's better. Bullets flying? Or dying of boredom here? I'd choose bullets any day.
Watch out on your left.
What's that shadow? Oh! Hey! What's the matter? Hey, what is it I see? Just show yourself already! Die on a mission like that. Shit. What's that? I know you're here and I'm coming for you! Your game is up! You can't abort the search operation! He's long gone! Standing down too early? Ah, well. Well, what did we forget here, I wonder? Does Doesn't look like we're going to get much of anything from guarding this place. Safe for trouble.
There are narrow spaces between the cargo. Squeeze through them.
Okay. A new scope.
Oh yeah, join the army. Stand around.
Stop clanging silverware, Mom. Okay. We gotta be careful with this one. Can't
Nothing there now.
Did not want to do that. Ugh. Okay, kind of a rock and a hard place with that part. Why the microphone can pick up dishes, I have no idea. And it's getting really annoying.
Where the hell did that come from? Oh. Down.
He's going straight for you. Hide.
Where is he?
Always the most boring detail possible.
So how long are we going to keep sitting on our thumbs here?
Well, Mikhailich is working on it. The generator shuts off all the time. And that's because you should have picked up normal spark plugs, not the shit you got. It sure would have saved us a lot of trouble. Well, they aren't so bad. Look how long they lasted. And Ahmed wanted 2 more clips for the new guys. So... Anyway, what's your problem? Are you in a hurry?
where to... Can't sneak there.
Hey, what's that? Near those barrels. Who's the... I think we have a contact.
Need a better position.
If things continue going the way they are, our weapon locks are going to be rusted shut in no time.
What could have fallen like that down there?
Beautiful. Much better. How much I could from the story trailer, it sounded like Anya would get sick. Anna was gonna get sick at some point. How much you want to bet that her wandering into that hot zone is what causes it? She gets sick. Hopefully, not for the worse, because that would suck. I mean, I'm being a loyal husband. I don't want my waifu to kick the bucket, and I really hope that does not happen, because that would tick me off. So far, so good. His window's closed, so whoever's in there can't see anything. I'm not sure what to expect, so... Oh, the game's saving. The saving in this game is inconsistent. Sometimes it does it it does it. Other times I have to do it, and when I do it, it goes and does it anyway. Like, it's like the game is psychic or something.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! I can pay the goods. Take them. You can take the goods.
Stay calm, it's us! We don't need your goods. Your tugboat, on the other hand. You can collect it at the bridge if you play your cards right. You got me?
Yes, of course.
Order your people to stand down and nobody gets hurt. At once!
Hey, listen up, people. This is your skipper. Stand down and surrender at once.
You did the right thing. It's nice to talk to a smart guy for a change. Now go! Great job, Artyom.
Yeah, we did it.
All of our guys are fine. You did great.
Yay. Woohoo! Morality point.
So, you guys ready to set off?
Cast.
If you're not, we have no time to waste.
Cast off, Captain.
I hope the winds are fair and the waters are smooth. And Artyom, watch it out there.
Oh yeah, we're gonna need that luck, all right. Fair winds.
Hurrah! Man your stations, weigh anchor!
We're gonna go about halfway there, then wait in the reeds until about 4 o'clock. We want to get there early in the morning when the fog is the thickest and they're sleepy after the morning prayer.
The trader captain looks kind of miserable. I don't blame him. He kind of took over his ship. There's the bridge.
Look, we're on final approach. There. See that fire at the very top?
Yep.
That's the control post. What used to be anyway. Now it's a shrine, блять. Closer to God at the top, you see. That's where you have to go. I'll distract the guards now. Hey, you ashore! Catch the line! Ready! Hey, sailor! What did you do to your barge? What you gonna sell now? Whoa, you're so funny! Jackass,
So, Artyom, shall we move? Whoever gets there first wins. Break a leg.
Going up.
Artyom, Duke, the Aurora is quietly moving into position. We'll be ready to act on your signal.
Roger that, sir. We're on it. Over.
So we gotta be...
It's like you missed the morning sermon. Well, I didn't. One day you are going to get sent to fight demons for that. But it's so early. Just tell me what he said.
So sneak through, attract minimal attention.
You see, if Simon's back. Back? But he and Creel vowed to eradicate all the demons. You don't just come back after that. Well, ask anyone. They got captured by heathens, but a heretic, one of the new ones, freed them. Old Simon just got cold feet, that's all. All the stories people tell not to go. No, he came back and with a huge fuss at the church, he got his way too. Now we will be praying for that heretic instead of Simon. You got that? Oh, God. For a heretic? It would please God, though. That's Simon. What next? Then he just made the sign of the cross, kissed the altar, and went back to the demons.
They just want to get to the other side, that's all.
He thought he was going to do the praying. Over there on the other side.
Hey, brother. Everyone
Yes, not everyone. Don't you worry so much. I just come back and go save his soul. You go out to fight him. Well, you know what?
Quite the riggedy place they got.
Anybody returned from a trip to the house of the Has the people returned from demon-killing trips or what? Well, how about I come with you? We'll go together for sure. Don't even think about it. I'll handle this myself. Well, just tell me to change your mind. Yes. Oh, what's not to get? Well, really, why is it so good where the heretics live? Who likes it there? I don't get it.
What's going on over there, huh? God Almighty and just. Shield us from the touch
What's
of
that?
evil, and the breath of evil, of temptation, and save our souls the way you saved our lives, to serve your will and confirm your power here on earth again, just as you have confirmed it in heaven. And give us strength to triumph over Satan's minions, and punish us should we prove unworthy.
Who's walking over there?
Nothing here after all. Wow, that's even better.
Sneaky, sneaky. Sorry, senor. Jesus ain't here right now. Don't know if I should risk it. Or maybe I could sneak up on him too. Don't know if I should. Let me save game before I attempt such. Well, that worked wonderfully. More than I'd hoped. Chessboard.
I'm almost at the goal. Are you all down there?
And the skies rained missiles.
Uh-oh.
And the ground burned to ash. And the sea boiled, and people turned into shadows. But our closest survived. For the faithful reside. And the Lord in his mercy and wisdom has chosen one among them who goes by the name of Silantius. And so speaketh the Lord, I will be with you, and will keep you safe, provided you are true in your devotion, provided you reject satanic technology. We reject. And even more so, do you reject Satan's deception, that thing they call electric curse? The cursed gift the enemy gave to the fools, so that they would fancy themselves above reproach, above God, and more powerful than him. We refuse. Amen, my children. For the electric current is Satan's temptation and his poison. Only those who reject electricity will be allowed into the kingdom of God. Only those who remain unsullied by its corruption will be let through by the Starfish. Glory to the fish!
Your Czarfish is dead. It ain't coming back. The rain is so loud. The sound design is insane.
For we carry out the will of our Lord. Retribution and punishment for their sins. And our enemies will receive the Lord, please. And all who stand before our gate shall scatter like dust in the wind. Big wind fancy themselves above reproach, above God, and more powerful than him. We reject. Amen, my children. For the electric current is Satan's temptation and his poison. Only those who reject electricity will be allowed into the kingdom of God. Only those who remain unsullied by its corruption will be let through by the starfish.
He's looking my way. Ugh, I can barely hear myself think or anything between the rain and the and Silentius's rabble. They're all houses, so that's why I couldn't open them. There's people inside of them.
Amen, my children. For the electric current is Satan's temptation and his poison.
Okay.
Only those who reject electricity.
Going in.
Will never get past this starfish.
So you come to me, you damn heretics. You took Katya, and now you have me.
Katya didn't want you, asshole.
We're just passing through the blast. Peacefully, our guys won't shoot. We've been easy on you people the whole time. And Katya asked us to take her along herself. Do you get me? Sure thing. First, you kill off the local cutthroats, and then you switch to us. Will you kill elders and children too?
We didn't kill any of them.
Blood already. Leave us for good now. God may punish you for your sins, but my responsibility is to tend my flock. That's a good boy.
Oh, good.
Hear me, brothers. Hold your fire. You hear me? I'll excommunicate everyone who shoots.
Well, I did all I could. Just don't shoot. And tell the driver to keep it slow. The bridge is in shambles, so don't stop, or the bridge might collapse. You will have
Aurora,
to
Duke here. We've reached an agreement. They will let us through if we don't shoot and move slowly. Don't stop. I repeat, do not stop. Over.
Hear you loud and clear. We're on. All hands, hold your fire until ordered.
Artyom, let's jump!
We did it.
Well, that's a job well done, huh?
Nice. I did not kill any of his guards, so Duke trophy. I did not kill any of his guards, so that was good.
We left Volga behind. The endless expanses of Russia stretched before us now. The bridge dwellers had finally decided to believe that we were not demons, and let us pass. Anna was right. We invaded their world, and it's not up to us to destroy it. No matter how stupid it may seem. Electricity is a sin. Is that really worse than the lies we were told in the metro? About how the whole world was dead and there was nowhere to go? Everybody in the tunnels bought that convenient lie. Once we reach Yamantau, we will at least know if that lie was justified. Since so far, we haven't met any signs of enemy occupation.
So had we gone all Rambo in there, he would have said he would have had all his guards fire on us, and I have a feeling if we had taken the violent route, something bad would have happened. I think maybe Duke would have died. They did stress, 4A Games did stress early on during the pre-release that you could lose characters if you did if you took certain bad routes, and said certain ones being, of course, the don't kill anyone route. So I have a feeling that would have happened had Duke would have not have been in this world anymore had we gotten that route. Where are you guys going? Where? Where are you going?
Artyom.
Okay.
Wake up, dear.
Hello, darling.
Is he up yet? Artyom, the colonel wants you on the breach. See you later.
Come on, wake up.
Aw. But I want to stay here with you, honey. Aw.
You did a great job there. We're not home anymore, so we'd all better act like you did. Smoothly.
Aw.
It's not like there's many of us humans left now. So I hope someday we will be able to trust others just because. Because they are people too. Am I bothering you? Sorry. I'm in a philosophical mood today.
Oh no, it turns me on. So we snuck through. Oh, our room is also my workbench with all my weapons on it and gear. Cool. I have my private quarters with my wife.
Well, that was Zakhar's idea, and Zakhar is the man. He crossed Baikal alone. We'd sign up to anything he proposes at once. While Menshikov, I couldn't care less about.
Aren't you getting too big in your head? You're so cool now that the relay gang is off your case? Don't fall off that high horse.
Go to hell, Dan. All right. I can live with listening to Menshikov if you're so fond of him.
Enough of that shit already. The important part is that Irkut is still around, and you guys are too.
You're right. That is the important part. Well, give my regards to Menshikov. Over and out.
That's someone we're going to encounter at some point. Menshikov.
I thought there was something going on. How are you doing anyway? Over.
Well, everything is fine actually. Family life, you know.
Why do you sound so bored in that case? Are you feeling adventurous?
Yeah, just a bit.
What's the holdup then? Come over here. Old Sabertooth misses you. There's also something brewing here, so your help would be kind of welcome. So just come over. You copy? Over.
Copy that. I like the idea. We'll start packing tonight and get back to you once we're ready to move out. Is that okay? Over.
Ah, that's my man. We'll be expecting you soon then. Over and out.
Give the old sailor. Over and out. Area 18-5. I repeat, proceed to the rally point. Rally point location is code 181.
Huh, I'm in my dress stripes.
79. Area 18.
I wonder how long that code has been. So what's on the diary? Volga, after all those years in the underground, the air of the surface seemed incredibly fresh and intoxicating. That was not the cause of the crew's euphoria. Our journey finally had a definite purpose, provided by the transmission from the government bunker in the Urals. We spent 20 years thinking that neither the government nor military high command had survived. As it turned out, they were still around. Where were they while we were eating each other alive in the metro? We had lots of questions to ask them. Once we reached Yamantau, if we ever would, the ruins of our country were under enemy control. According to Miller, we would have to fight through to our goal. A small team against the occupation armies. What chance did we have to succeed to get some answers? Yet setting out on our recon mission, Anna and I did not ponder these questions. We just kept filling our lungs with that sweet fresh air, splashing about the spring puddles like children out for the first walk after a long sickness. When I docked the old and battered but still surprisingly watertight boat at the goal, it became apparent that our arrival terrified the locals. These fanatics are for some reason convinced that it was electricity that brought about mankind's demise, so they avoid any and all technology like the plague. On the other hand, they have a grain of reason in their belief, for technical progress did in fact enable our self-destruction. They didn't get me with their trap thanks to a little girl. Yeah, they didn't even send any guards in their trap. It's like they just, like, it was the worst one that anyone could ever make. I practically walked out. Like, like, they deserve to be wiped out if they're so bad at trapping people like that. Little girl, who, thanks to a little girl and her mother, who had been held by the fanatics in that murky, damp room for about a year. If the locals would do such things, was there any real hope that they'd be inclined to let us cross the bridge? Maybe there was. Katya and Nastia made it out of the church successfully, but the reinforcements that had arrived to spring the trap on the dangerous heretic that I was saw me. Luckily, I was able to get away without killing anyone. Besides, we obtained a reliable source of information on the cultists, so we hoped we could find some basis for a dialogue with them. Katya and Nastia didn't just tell us about the fanatics, but also about Crest, a traveling mechanic hated by the fanatics because of his trade. It's their loss, really. They could go back to using flint tools for all we care. Well, we're lucky to have such a versatile handyman in our crew now. While I was out looking for Crest, Anna managed to get into an adventure of her own. She fell down some cellar and hit her head, knocking herself out and breathing in some poisonous fumes from chemicals abandoned there who knows how many years ago. She seemed to have suffered no serious injury, though I was still mad at her father. His paranoia went way too far, making us all see enemy banners in every old rag. We found no occupying forces in this backwater. Even the chemicals in the cellars seemed to be wholly domestic. Luckily, they were long past their expiry date, or so it seemed. Getting the rail car left by Crest in the abandoned loading terminal was not easy. The half-flooded building was where the enormous catfish, one of the pillars of the local crazy parody of religion, made its lair. I must give the fanatics their due, though. They did turn the building into a veritable shrine, even though housed not just the catfish, but also hordes of human-like mutants, which were, of course, overjoyed to see me. Oh, man. The enormous mutated catfish the locals were terrified of did not stop us. I found it funny, though, that they would address their prayers to that fish. Could man make a god out of anything? Can the degenerates we've been fighting be even called men, though? At the end of the day, I'd successfully exchanged some ammo for a rail car in great condition, more than capable of tugging the passengers' cares that had brought Katya to this accursed place one day back to the Aurora. I had to take some trash out first, though. Wading through mud against the rusty railroad carriages and dead husks of abandoned buildings, I had for some reason expected to have left the bandits, along with Moscow's poisonous air, far, far back now. I do, of course, understand that it was rather silly of me. There's no changing the human nature, and anarchy could only make the worst qualities of it present themselves. The beautiful is always unique, while the ugly is surprisingly uniform. These bandits, were they hardened criminals or just people left desperate and robbed of most of their humanity by the war that had blown over them? Different from their metro counterparts, by clothes and names at most, their actions, robbing, murdering, and capturing innocent people to sell into slavery were exactly the same. My opinion of the fanatics notwithstanding, only a complete and utter bastard could have left them in the hands of the bandits. Naturally, the bandits would keep terrorizing the locals afterwards. They might even be torturing some new victims at this very moment, but at least I saved somebody, simply because I could not have done otherwise. Yeah, I saved several of them. It was pointless to even try to talk the fanatics into letting us cross the bridge, so our only option was to take the matter into our own hands and lower the movable section of the bridge regardless of their opinion on that. The problem was we couldn't really get into that bridge from the shore, so we had to use the last remaining path of entry, the river, where the fanatics could not expect us from. That path could only be rendered accessible with the help of a tugboat we would rent from the river traders. Luckily, the trader's captain proved to be no fool and surrendered immediately after glancing into the barrels of our weapons. Trained on his head, the boat's crew remained completely oblivious of our infiltration until we took the situation under control, so no blood was spilled. For us, the bridge was little more than an obstacle to cross, but for the fanatics, it was a lot more. It was their safe haven from the terrible demons of electricity, their home, their temple, and their fortress. No wonder they weren't exactly keen on letting just anyone through. That said, their guards were sure less than competent, lulled into complacency by the safety of their home ground, so much so that Duke and I managed to sneak into the very heart of their cult completely undetected. All that stealth and special operation training Miller had us go through definitely paid off, and we got a drop on Salantius, who was left with no option but surrender. And because I didn't kill any of them, he let us go without bloodshed. We left the Volga behind. There we met people who had spent all these years living in the open and never heard about the war still going on or the conditions we had to tolerate living in the metro. When I received the signals from the survivors outside of Moscow for the first time, I thought the people of the surface would be different from us, would be free from fear and hopelessness. In the metro, we knew we were not living, but merely passing time before death. So for some reason I expected the people who knew they had a proper tomorrow to be somehow wiser, more free and noble than us. I was wrong. They were just as miserable and lost as we were. Perhaps the problem was not the metro, but us all along. If here, on the surface, we continued doing the same things we did underground, we might never get a chance to build a future. A vast world stretches before us, and I am sure we will find what we are looking for. The occupying forces don't get us on the way. Spring. We left Volga behind. The endless expanses of Russia stretched before us now. The bridge dwellers had finally decided to believe that we were not demons and let us pass. Anna was right. We invaded their world, and it's not up to us to destroy it, no matter how stupid it may seem. Electricity is a sin. It's really worse than the lies we were told in the metro. Nowhere to go. Oh, wait. Yeah, we already read this, right? Yeah, we already read this. So what do we got for crew? There's more stuff for Colonel Miller, surprisingly. Oh wait, there is more stuff. Oh yeah, there's more stuff. Anna, you wanted to believe me, you couldn't. You tried to not pay attention to your father, and you did. The Colonel firmly believes that our country is occupied, and that the war is still going on, and that makes us jumpy. Makes us suspect an attack on every turn. Make us look for traces of enemy presence everywhere. He has us riled up, and Anna is not immune to that. She was so eager to find the occupying forces in that tiny abandoned village near the bridge over Volga that she saw an American banner in a mere old in a mere old t-shirt. She went to investigate and fell through the roof of an old chemical storage silo. Luckily, the chemicals seemed to have been long since expired, and now got away with just a few bruises, needless to say. There was not a trace of foreign troopers' presence anywhere close. I don't know, man. You might want to keep her... You might want to observe, just in case. Drive the Colonel to the worst adventure of his life. He's convinced the war's still going on. Moscow to fake its death. But Anna's still his daughter, and I'm still one of his soldiers, so he, in his advanced age, risks everything he has. His reputation, his position in the metro, the most of his order, everything to save us too. Maybe somehow get himself out of the mess we are going to. The Yamato Mountain, where the Supreme Command HQ is located. Only the true government of our destroyed country could now pardon the Colonel for treason, of course, if they agreed to even listen to him at all. There's one problem, though. It's been a few days since we left Moscow, but we have yet to find a trace of the occupying forces. Yeah, they never showed up. We blew each other to smithereens, and so it's like, no, not even worth it. So, Duke... Igor likes being called the Duke of Darkness, but you can hardly find a light-hearted guy. He is but a brat taking crazy risks all the time, but Lady Luck smiles to the brave. Not for the trick he played on Salantius, that old obscurant, our old operation could have failed. Duke, my friend, your star is undoubtedly on the rise, and soon you will outshine us all. We be of one blood, ye and I am proud of it. Yarmak. Idiot. All of us, the crew members, are going somewhere to some kind of destination, as Yermak puts it, even though none of us know where that destination would be. Sam, though, seems to know the place. If the world outside of Metro is not wiped out, there must be survivors in the U.S., and Sam can't stop thinking about his parents who might still be alive, waiting for their son. I wonder if he feels he's traveling in the right direction with us. While we were waiting for the Aurora's repairs to be completed, thinking on how to cross the river, Sam, in light of our constant mentions of occupying forces, hypnotized himself into believing that the Colonel didn't trust him. It must be heartbreaking to have served a commander for 20 years with unquestioning loyalty only to be considered a traitor, but it must be equally heartbreaking to have become so close to your old enemy, only to learn that your country might still be there after all. If the war still is going on, whose side are you on, Sam? Who are you? Right until meeting Katya, Stepan has never defied the Colonel. But when Miller didn't want to let the woman and her daughter board the Aurora, he started a real quarrel. The Colonel was noticeably thrown off, while the rest of us immediately understood what was going on. Still, as any good commander, Miller quickly saw through Stepan and let himself be talked into letting Katya and Nastia aboard. With this addition, Stepan was sure to never leave the crew. Was there anything more for Yernak? Nope. Katya and Nastia. Aw, nice picture of the two. I can't really imagine what Katya and Nastia had been through, and how they managed to keep their sanity, much less remain as optimistic as they are. A little girl and a tender woman proved to be tougher than fate, taking all the blows it could throw at them squarely, and those blows were many and mighty. They had arrived at Volga with a group of migrants who were out on a quest for a better life. That quest ended with them finding a new faith, and their death along with it, of course. Salantius didn't kill anyone himself. He didn't even order anyone killed. Still, his holy ritual, where an initiate must dispose of an electric anomaly to be accepted into the fold, how is it different from a murder in cold blood? It's no wonder that the Colonel let Stepan and Anna coax him into letting Katya and Nastya aboard the Aurora, even though there must be numerous dangers waiting for us. Still, I would argue that these ladies are tougher than some battle-hardened troopers. Besides, Katya is a trained nurse, and we will most probably need all the medical expertise we can get. You know, Miller said that, he objected to bringing them because, what horrors, other horrors would we encounter? Well, not Katya's was probably a little girl by the time the war happened, when the bombs fell, and Nastya's like what, 6 or so, and she's seen demons and anomalies. If anything, they've seen and they were all trapped in a catfish worshipping cult, and likely saw that thing feast on people many times. So, if anything, they've already had their fair share of hell already. So, and since Katya's a nurse, she's vital to us by default, since we would need a medic. And Nastya, considering what she went through to get our team to help, well, I would say that she's already getting up there in experience of surviving already. So wherever we go, they'll likely will be fine, hopefully. Crest. An avid storyteller, a talented mechanic, and a natural-born adventurer who traveled all across the vast expanses of this threatening world of the surface, so alien to us, who'd been through hundreds of scuffles and struck thousands of deals, quite a few of which could well be of the less scrupulous sort. I don't know if Crush will be journeying with us for long, but I am not surprised he had such an easy time fitting in. Right from the start, he gave us the hand with fixing the Aurora, gave us the rail car he'd been using in his adventures, then went with us on a mission to capture the tugboat, giving Duke and me the cover we needed to infiltrate the bridge. It's no wonder that even our unusually cautious colonel had no second thoughts about welcoming Crest into the crew. Okay, so that diesel rail car we've been using was Crest's, and he left it there. Or maybe he didn't have any choice. I hope we took it with us, if it's able to survive the journey anyway. It could come in hands. New world. Bandits. With no state and its laws, with no pockets of civilization, which the new civic society could crystallize around, no hope of ever going back to normal life. Should one be surprised with the rise of anarchy and its consequences? Bandits constructing their rudimentary societies around the basest aspects of the human nature, even in the tunnels of Moscow Metro, where every meter has been divided between the quasi-states, attempting to uphold some semblance of order on their turf, the gangs flourish. What could one expect in the world of surface, where there is simply nobody and nothing to stand up to them? On the banks of Volga, there seem to be a great many of bandit gangs. They have somehow agreed on the division of spheres of influence and are more or less happily coexisting, robbing the few remaining or newly founded in the less polluted regions. Peaceful survivor settlements, and selling their denizens as slaves on the markets of the south. Fanatics. The worship of intense hatred towards the technology, coupled with individuality and independent thought within the community. Yeah, like that idiot boy his poor dad was trying to help free his mind of brainwashing. Like, dude, just leave your boy to rot in that hellhole of a fish cult and come with us. But no, we couldn't get him. What else could one reasonably expect from a mix of primitive mysticism with classic religion, seeped with good old founder's cult of personality? You know, that I forgot to mention, since Silencius is apparently a former Communist Party member, kind of makes sense that he would kind of, because communism, yeah, the cult of personality, yeah, that was a thing with a lot of them. Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, and the rest of them. Makes sense that he would liken himself into a deity or or at least a prophet, quote unquote, and make himself all seem more important than he really is. I must give the fanatics their dues, though. By banding together, they managed to survive in this wild world, settling a bridge and turning it into a veritable fortress, which had no choice but to take seriously their best fighters. The lightning fighters can fight back against the electric anomalies and even gangs of bandits, compensating for their lack in training by strong motivation rooted in their fanaticism. And they can't even set up a good trap. The freaking Inquisitors would laugh at them. Humanimals. Like the other mutants created by radioactive fallout, these nightmarish creatures feel right at home in the inhospitable post-war world. Despite clearly being descended from humans, these creatures are not really that smart, resembling apes in their behavior. They live in packs, don't use any tools, and defend themselves, mostly by throwing stones from a distance. One such mutant is not much of a threat, but a fight against a pack of these is hard to survive. And there seem to be different types, too. There's a red one, and then there's a grayish one, which seems to be the alpha of the bunch. I find it funny how they all sleep standing up. I think that's funny. Kind of disturbing how they do it, but still. Our first encounter with these creatures happened on the banks of Volga. In the open, they seemed harmless, and even pathetic, their ugly appearance accentuated by the sluggishness of their movements. Yet inside the abandoned loading terminal building, they proved to be more than just troublesome to me. It became apparent that besides throwing stones, they were also capable of ambushing their prey by hiding in shallow water. Yeah, and hold their breath for a considerable amount of time. The Czarfish. Generally a giant mutant catfish terrorizing the fishermen would seem to be a dubious object of worship at best, but Salantius still managed to indoctrinate the locals he'd brainwashed into believing the monster was sent to the earth with a divine mission. Yeah, and I killed their god. They won't be sacrificing any more people to that thing anymore. There will be a reformation within a year, I guarantee it. Shrimp female. Mysterious aquatic life form, seemingly crustacean. Of course, you can't be sure these days. As far as I know, nobody ever thought of properly researching them and finding their proper place in classification. Yeah, they were too busy eating them in the metro. You know, giant shrimp. Probably had to clean that thing before they would go and eat it. Ugh, one can't imagine what they were eating, what they feast on. What we know is that they have a strong carapace, and are aggressive to predators, and as such inherently dangerous. The females of the species tend to attack in packs, spitting corrosive mucus from the distance, or they think they can easily finish their prey, going in for a kill with their disgusting leash-like mouths. Ugh. The shrimp male, or mantis as I remember calling it. A mysterious aquatic life form, seemingly crustacean. Of course, you can't be sure these days. Properly researching them, finding their proper place of classification. Extremely inherently dangerous. The males of the species tend to live solitary lives and are extremely territorial. Once they see anything they deem a threat, they immediately attack, using their massive forelimbs as clubs and shields at once. They were honestly much tougher in Metro Last Light. So I guess since there's since there probably are new, tougher enemies in the game, I guess they thought, let's downgrade them a bit, make them a bit different from the old one, because these look very different from Last Light, so they could be probably a different species. Lurkers. Yeah. They look like mutated rats or rabbits with those teeth. While lurkers are far from being the strongest or meanest mutants around, either in the metro or on the surface, they are still a danger to be considered. Especially for a lonely wanderer, they are a colonial burrowing species. As such, they protect themselves from the larger predators by constructing lots of interconnected burrows in close proximity to each other and hiding in them if sufficiently threatened. Wait a minute. Weren't the lurkers also in the previous Metro games? Specifically, 2033 they were in there quite a bit. Last Light, not so much. I think they were in 2033, but they redesigned them. They don't look as ugly as before. They looked kind of like naked mole rats, except way uglier. Whereas this, they kind of grounded them a bit more, especially with that face. Anyway, in them, if sufficiently threatened, they hide in the burrows, while keeping the surroundings under constant observation in search for danger or potential prey. When in a lurker-infested area, you can never guess which burrow a bloodthirsty creature might appear from, though you can bet it will most often be the one you're not looking at. Yeah, they must have. I think they were in Metro 2033. Charger. Tried and true manual crank charger made from a scooter alternator, stabilizer, transformer, battery, and metal shears. How often do I have to listen to it? We're waiting for the flashlight to come back to life. Frankly speaking, I'd love to cut down on the times I have to keep squeezing it. But 20 years after the Judgment Day, decent rechargeable batteries are kind of hard to come by, so we all have to use the restored and re-restored ones. And these hold charge just a little better than the bottomless bucket holds water. Besides, this little charger can, in times of emergency, power things much larger than a flashlight or a night sight. Since it can generate some decent power, it usually takes quite a lot of cranking to do that, though. This isn't just an old military issue map case that holds maps, pencils, and notes in the mission parameters anymore. The efforts or Tokarev, the Sparta's tech guru, have brought it up to the Order standard and turned it into a marvel of technology while remaining surprisingly light. It now includes a map with an automatic course plotter showing my current location, a radio for communicating with the HQ, a compass, and a notepad which I am planning to use to record my profound thoughts, interesting observations, and other things noteworthy. Perhaps one day I might turn it into a memoir. You've kind of done that in the previous 2 games, dude. You only added a few extra stuff to it. Tokarev has entrusted field testing his newest invention, a combination backpack portable workshop that not only allows to easily carry a considerable load and clean and service weapons, but also lets its user make filters, medkits, and other pieces of equipment useful in the field to me. Surely I am honored with the trust, but something tells me Tokarev has an ulterior motive here. This could be his plot for stocking up useful materials without even leaving the confines of his workshop. If that wasn't the case, why would he spend time telling me where to find usable metal parts and chemicals? He even proposed I check out the mutant layers, though I might say the idea seems to be quite odd. Binoculars that Crest gave to me turned out to be an invaluable gift back in Moscow. Even on the surface, there was no real need for a pair, but here they do help me out a lot. Yeah, they allow me to scout out entire areas from a high position and map out spots to investigate. It's you know those towers and high places you would go to in the Assassin's Creed and Fallout games in order to reveal portions of the map? Well, with this thing, you can pretty much do it anywhere, provided you're in a high enough location, a high enough spot to sight everything, of course. Of course, you could take a good look at something from a considerable distance using an optical sight, but a wider field of view, great magnification, and above all, binocular picture allows to get a good grasp of relative positions of points of interest and distances between them, making the binoculars a must when making such a point on a map. The bracer all Spartans wear are not an important piece of armor, but still routinely save our lives. They are used to mount such vital pieces of equipment as Geiger counters, warning us of dangerous radiation hotspots, and watches, necessary for keeping track of gas mask filter usage. The watch is combined with another gadget that, despite its tiny size, is also vitally important, the light indicator. Hinted me to find a better shaded spot, remain stealthy. The lighter. Spartan suit. Suits also accommodate a modicum of armor and padding, ensuring when combined with the armored vest. So this move becomes a main priority. Night vision goggles. Even before the war, the night vision goggles were a valued commodity in the military forces, even moderately concerned with whether carrying out stealthy operations or effectively foiling those with relative fragility of such devices and perpetual darkness of the tunnels. Their value and importance in the Metro grew exponentially. Obtaining a working specimen is a rare luck, and even the Order could never manage to procure enough to make night vision goggles a piece of standard issue equipment for all of its fighters, providing them only for specific operations. Still, all the helmets issued by the Order have the necessary mounting points, and our standard power packs, usually reserved to feeding our flashlights, have additional sockets which all the Spartans can use to plug such goggles into should they obtain one. Kalashnikov, Tehar. Frankly speaking, I didn't recognize that Tikar. I've been calling it Tehar the whole time. Tikar was a weapon when I saw it for the first time, and it took me some time to believe that it really could function. Even so, this remarkably ugly masterpiece of the armory stage's designers they've been driven into making by eternal shortage of ammo has proven to be indispensable for the Order's operatives. Not only does Tikar shoot ubiquitous bearing balls, it is also practically noiseless. Yeah, almost. It's definitely louder in Exodus than it was in the first two games. Packs a wallop and is quite accurate over short distances, naturally. All in all, it is an ideal special operations weapon for the conditions of Metro. Yeah, it's a round ball. It's not gonna go very far compared to a modern bullet with a cone tip, and of course is further accentuated by the rifling spiral grooves inside of gun barrels. So yeah, the bullets could go way farther than this does. That's why it was difficult to make some long-term shots. Of course, you have to mind not just the ammo in the magazine, but also the air reservoir pressure, though Tokarev has at least improved the valve so that the air does not escape once you actually shoot the weapon. Eh. Ash shot. What firearm could be simpler than a shotgun? Perhaps some extremely primitive zip gun. But those aren't known for their efficiency. A buckshot salvo, though, will make even the toughest and meanest mutants at least think about their next actions carefully. Besides, shotgun ammo is easier to handhold than any other kind, so the popularity of this class of weapons is nothing surprising. Their variety, though, never ceased to amaze me, even after I learned that functional shotguns could be made from lengths of water pipes like most of Ash shot variants are. Still, anything from 1 to 4 barrels, not counting different chokes, stocks, recoil compensators, and sights. Even within the Order, the only standard as far as the shotguns are concerned is their caliber. I can't wrap my mind around how Takara managed to know them all inside out. Yeah, I hated this gun in Metro Last Light because it was one shot at a time, and only one shot at a time, yet here in Exodus it's been rectified by being able to put 2 barrels on it. So basically, it replaces the Duplay double-barreled shotgun from the previous 2 games. At least I'm assuming so. I don't know if there will be a 4-barrel mod for it yet, because the Duplay had a 4-barrel mod in the previous 2 games, and of course there was the bicycle shotgun, which had like 6 barrels. And honestly, even though it's not my preferred, what I would like, I have to admit, once I put the double shot into it, it became way better. And, 2 shots instead of 1. And also, it actually reloads faster than the Duplay. I honestly thought the Duplay reloaded way too slowly. Then again, so did the Shambler, but at the very least the Shambler carried multiple rounds. Oh, the bastard. How is it that everyone outside the Metro had a bastard? I don't understand. I thought that was a Metro-only gun. Metro, the location, I mean. What if you require something with a better cyclic rate of fire than a revolver, but consider an assault rifle to be an overkill? The submachine guns are there for you, that is, of course, if besides the requirements and fantasy of quality machines and materials, if all you have is fantasy and skillful hands, you end up with an embodiment of the beggars, can't-be-choosers principle. Yeah, this gun is like one of the most ugly yet coolest weapons I've ever seen, because it's like, it has that typewriter-like magazine that goes from left to right. And although you can't admit it, you can tell it's pretty much been made out of everything from bicycle parts to pipes, to water pipes. You happen to have a length of thin pipe, a dented bucket, a rusty anvil, and pliers. Perfect. In a couple of days, you may be spraying the mutants with lead with so much water from a garden hose, with about the same range and accuracy, and not for long, as your creation, spitting unscrewed nuts left and right, will overheat from its insane rate of fire and jam within seconds, like the bastard gun ever popular amongst the denizens of the metro. Yeah, I think once you got the muffler, which cooled it down, it became a better gun. Although really, I'll take the Kalashnikov any day. More reliable. No overheating problems. Although in this case, we have to worry about dirt. Despite all the afflictions plaguing this gunsmith's nightmare, Tokarev managed to turn it into a decent weapon with enough power and accuracy to take its rightful place in our arsenal. Its only remaining drawback, that even Tokarev's magic was unable to fix, is its propensity to jam when it overheats. Still, the number of bullets the bastard, as we naturally came to be calling it, manages to spit out before it stutters, usually ends up being enough for any opponent. Decoys, throwing knives, explosives, Molotov cocktails. Still gasoline, still dangerous, yep. We've been using these things for years.
How long have you been on the road for? I've been listening to the radio too. And there was not a single transmission about any occupying force. There's so much regular chatter. So many stories. Dad says all those are coded transmissions, that they all have hidden meaning, but why would they be so secretive? Why aren't they using this railroad? Why don't they at least control its key junctions? Why did they not install any roadblocks? If they are even out here. This is the main transport artery, after all. Maybe they are not here at all. Maybe they never came here. Or they are already gone. Though, where to? Remember? Neither Katya nor Crest have ever met them. Though, we seem to be doing just fine even without them. It's like the Middle Ages. That Silentius is treating people like slaves, getting them killed. I can't believe they had it worse without his lies, nonsense, and human sacrifices. And us? We had been living down there for so many years, fighting each other. And nobody even thought you could live outside.
Well, look at that. So that's where my photos go.
Talk with Katya. I'm sitting here recalling that bridge and those people there, and we've been sitting underground for 20 years. And they haven't. So what? These are not the same people who used to build cities, planes, and space rockets. They are just like us in Metro, only even more dejected. They are essentially slaves. For real. They work all day and pray all night. Always watched, always directed. Everything is under control. Everything is decided by the community. Well, I mean, Silentius. They don't even have any property. Even their socks belong to the community.
Yeah, it's called communism.
They're just entranced with him, with these ridiculous lies about electricity. Of course, not everyone got fooled easily, but if they dare ask questions, they get penance, exorcising an electric demon with prayer and the cross. But that's a death sentence. How is a flashlight dangerous? Or a radio? But no, they shun it all. They hide and keep praying. How can you even make people believe this ridiculous garbage within just a few years?
Because people are stupid.
People in general start believing lies surprisingly easily, don't they? As long as those lies are convenient or at least familiar. Take us in Metro. All right, we haven't met the occupying forces yet. If we disregard that shirt I found on an antenna, Katya and Crest. Never met them either. But maybe they are still out there somewhere. And if they are, then they didn't even tell us about them back home. They didn't tell us that the war was still on. They just made us believe that there's no life anywhere outside of Metro. They've been lying to us. Lying non-stop. All this time. Were their intentions good? Perhaps. But the Metro is a castle built on lies.
Yeah, and one that
Damn,
is...
am I angry. And so far, no matter how far we get, we haven't met a single enemy. Isn't that strange? But Father won't have a word of it. Stay vigilant, be careful. The enemy never sleeps.
He sounds like the Reds.
You know, I love my father. A whole lot, no matter what. But what if everything he's been told is just another layer of lies?
That's what I'm thinking.
I hope we'll find out how deep this rabbit hole is once we get to Yamantau. Well, what do you know? I do feel better now after telling you. Thanks for hearing me out, Artyom. Let's just sit here a little.
Alright, comfort my wife. Aww.
This is great. I wish I could stay like this forever. Artyom, when you climbed those ruins back in Moscow, with your radio, did you imagine our life on the surface at all? A home for one, a place where we could live, a log cabin on the outskirts of a forest. Or how about a bungalow on an ocean shore?
I'll take the ocean shore.
Oh, you know, there's something great in simply going anywhere like this. Together. Through the abandoned stations, the ruins, the wasteland. Especially in our own private compartment. Thinking back, isn't this our honeymoon trip? It certainly feels like one, even though it's a bit late. We've only had some honeymoon sorties at best so far. All right, run along. Dad wanted something.
Aww. Yeah, he does, and I still have to give a certain somebody a teddy bear. Yay.
Wanna go look? It's so cool.
Nastia's letter. Dear Daddy, I write this so you know where to look for Mommy and me when you come back. Because Mommy and I wanted to stay, but Salantia says we must go to the tower and leave this car, and I don't want to. I wanted to wait for you in the car, bub, but Mommy said I can't, and Salantia said you won't come back because you failed the test of fate. He is a stupid liar because you never needed any tests, as their faith is dumb. I remember you said so. Mommy said nothing, but I know she's waiting for you too, so please come back soon and take us away from these fools. I love you so very much, Nastia. Aww. Coming, honey. Coming, darling.
Ah, hi, Artyom. See my new place? Fit for a king, I must say. What do you think of this workbench, eh? Everything is within reach, yet there's so much space left. Most of the stuff you and the guys found outside and gave to me went into making this workshop happen. So thank you. We'll have to keep pitching in like this too. Looks like we're facing a long journey, and useful things like ammo or equipment don't grow on trees.
Nope.
Plus, the further from Moscow we get, the harder they'll probably be to get. So don't forget to collect all the materials you find to keep us going. There's so many things to do. I haven't decided where I'm going to work on the suits, but I'll have to, and soon.
Might need to get another train car.
We fixed our uniforms. Some of our people are starting to look pretty ragged, you know. Well, Duke's plate carrier won't hold the back plate anymore, and he jokes that he's lucky it's not the front one, or else his toes would be in danger. Regardless, I am turning this little gang back into a real army. Well, that's it. I bragged enough and won't waste any more of your time. The Colonel summoned you. Well, I have stuff to do too. You guys are fast to break gear, but none too expedient to fix it.
Mm-hmm. Uncle Tokarev! Uncle Tokarev!
What would you like to ask, Nastya?
Uncle Tokarev, do you have a sewing machine?
No, I don't.
But how are you going to fix the suits then?
Well, like everyone else, I take a thread and a needle, and I use a sail stitch.
Wow, cool! Can you teach me?
I sure can, but later. I've got work to do.
Will you let me fix Sam's rifle strap?
Well, sure thing. Oh, but under supervision. Sam is so strict, you know.
Hurrah! And Uncle Sam isn't strict at all. He's kind.
Alright, look here. I'll show you once. Now we do this.
I see.
Yes, and now, this way.
Got that.
Oh, she's learning how
Don't
to...
rush it here.
I see.
Oh, she's learning how to...
And now, this way.
Learning how to sew.
Got that.
That's cute. Aw. Ain't she cute? Nice stockings, by the way. Always thought those were cute. Gosh. Liberated a poster from somewhere.
A smoke break. That's good.
Hey, we did bring along the electric car. Thank goodness.
Oh, this is one mean smoke. Damn, this is rough. Well, nothing we couldn't take.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Anna's gonna get ill from the poisons. Hopefully, it won't kill her. I hope. I don't want that to happen.
And now he's bragging about it like a child. He is a child, really, no, a child. But he's good.
So, yeah, what did I want to say? Yes. Thank you. You people accepted me, and I'm a simple guy. I will pay the debt back, okay?
So, how do you like it out here after your tunnels? Freedom, huh? Sure thing. So much space. It feels too empty to me, though. Just reeds and ruins and those damn mutants.
Hate them.
Phew.
You know, I honestly thought
You guys are gonna see the government. So, Bratucha, don't be mad, but just tell me, what the hell do you even need them for?
Well,
Of course, it might be interesting to take a look, but throughout all of my rambling, I only met two kinds of ex-government people. Dead ones and gang leaders. And let me tell you, the latter are much worse than your typical bandit. They just have to make a speech before doing something awful. So what I mean, I didn't really care about the government even before the war, much less now, when everything's nonsense gone to shit. So what for, really? I'm a simple man, Artyomich. I told I'm with you, that means I'm with you for the long haul. But I'd much rather find a nice place to live at than go see the government. Of course, they could give us luxury bunkers or something. Well, Artyom, you seem cold. Go get warmed up a bit, I'll smoke some more. I've stuff to think about. Or just stay. We have enough space now.
So yeah, we got his rail car right there. That'll come in handy. Nice. I thought we left it behind. No, we didn't. But seriously, Crest has to be voiced by the same guy who voiced Pavel in Last Light. Like, when we got out there, I could have sworn it was Pavel at first, because he speaks very similarly to him, too, with his jokes. But no, it's a different character. I imagine they wanted to add some similar flair, I suppose. We got a weapon rack, and we got way more. Okay, so that's where I keep my spares, and I imagine there's going to be another rack for more guns eventually. Here's where I keep them. Kind of like the model rack in Commander Shepard's cabin in Mass Effect 2. And 3, by extension. Whose room is this? It's either Miller's or somebody else's. I need to give that bear to that guitar to somebody.
Artyom, come on in, have a seat. Stepan's putting on a live performance here.
Oh yeah, I got the guitar. He must have gotten it.
Are you up for a jam? Come on, pick the guitar up.
I did get the guitar after all, so...
Well, the maestro is about to impress you.
Aww.
Thank you, Stepan.
Okay, so I guess the guitar
I'm sorry
was...
to ask, Katya, but Nastya's father, he's dead, isn't he? Does Nastya know?
He is. I tried keeping it a secret. Told her he left for the market.
Yeah, she found out.
Around 3 days passed, and I still kept it in. I just sat there with a needle in my hand and didn't see anything. It was all black before my eyes. And then she snuggles up to me and says, "You should cry, Ma. You will feel better." Sienna used to say it. So I cried and cried. She knows. She knows it all.
I'm sorry, Katya. I'm so sorry.
Let me tell you how we ended up at the bridge. We used to live in northeast from here. Quite close if you go in a straight line. But it took us a month. Everything's bombed terrible out there. Yermak asked me and I told him. Sim used to say there were lots of military factories out there. Not just military, of course. General industry. And now you can't pass through there even with filters. The radiation is so high. No railway either, just crater upon crater. We were quite far, but our counter still went crazy. One route appeared intact. There was nothing to bomb. So we used that one, thinking we'd get further to the west, but But of course they did not let us cross the bridge with the diesel. They said it was satanic. They were ready to let us stay if we gave them the diesel to cleanse it. So we stayed. And then we couldn't leave, even if we wanted. That old goat, Father Silentius, brainwashed everyone, so they would just pray and bow non-stop. They broke our diesel down with their bare hands and threw it into the river. Purification. And on top of it, they gave us trouble for not helping them. Xenia went to check what was going on, and there were only locals there, because Silentius at the Skatina had sent our people away to test them. He said that if they wanted to be truly accepted, they had to defeat a demon. Xenia went to stop them. But it was too late. He only found burnt rags.
The anomalies.
And then they sent him to do the same. He never came back.
Katja, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Well, you really didn't. What's done is done. It kind of got so glum in here. Perhaps you, Stepan, could play us something.
Sure thing.
So I guess the guitar that I found was for me, is for Artyom personally. Katya, Nastya, those two went through so much. Oh, they got a toy airplane. You know, as much as I love, you know, how would you, you know, when I think of it, how would it be having your own personal train? Having nowhere to go but where the rails take you. Different sites to different places. Never in one place. Hell, in Mass Effect and Knights of the Republic, you had the spaceship. In Metal Gear Solid 4, they had an airplane. Which you barely used at all, really, because that game was more of a movie than an actual game in hindsight. And, then now we have this game with the train.
Here's one of my favorites.
Stop it already.
Yay, dining car.
Well, what did you expect? So, what's up with your plate carrier? Tokarev was mad. It's a long story.
Come on, out with it.
Well, there I am, sitting on a beam, looking at Artyom milling about below.
Oh, you are so full of it. Artyom did most of the work.
That he did, yeah, he did. But you don't have to interrupt my lies. You asked me about the waste yourselves. Alright, go on. So I see Artyom get to the door, and I think it's time I came down. So I do. But something just holds on to me.
He's full of shit.
What does? How should I know? It's dark. Nobody around. But I can't move. And those locals kept going on about something. So I thought I was in a kind of a bind. So I just unfastened the safety and let down. There was that shit down there. The road was kind of close.
And what about the Tsar?
Oh, blue, the Tsar was huge. Scary as shit. And there was this rusty bolt, and my carrier got snagged on it.
Yeah.
Well, you, Duke, are lucky you already have a nickname. That's hilarious. And what was next? Oh, next. Next we jumped that old preacher of theirs. Well, Tom did most of it.
That glass is wobbling. You see that, right?
Like a hawk.
Ugh.
Yeah, he's good. Well, I was clamoring about those beams and fighting that side.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm killing myself.
Oh, Duke.
Well, he basically solved the whole problem.
True that. Good job, Artyom.
Yeah, he's embellishing
Yeah,
what
you
I
both
did.
Well, Crest also.
Sure. He did a swell job distracting those guards. I almost wet my pants with laughter when they started hauling that timber. He's an artist.
Yeah, he's a great guy. You all came out on top of the game.
And that calls for what?
A drink.
You nailed it. You truly are one of us now, Sam. Will you be joining us?
Nah, not now. I'll have some at dinner.
Well, you'll have to catch up then.
Sure thing. Anyways, we will just have a little as a warm-up now.
Seriously, look at that. That glass is wobbling. Under no law of physics should that even be happening. Look at it.
Good stuff.
Look at it. Look at it. It's cursed.
Hey guys, there's something I've been thinking about. What does everyone expect of this trip?
Personally, I want to come back and tell Sveta of my adventures, so that she'd look at me with her huge gray eyes without blinking and keep saying, "You're such a hero, darling."
So you're expecting heroics and scars. That works.
And why did you come?
Well, my heart is aching for true romance. But in the Metro, all women want a solid relationship, a reliable husband, a real provider.
Isn't that how it always is?
Enough of that smug smile. It's unbearable. Not that I've had much better luck here so far. As soon as Katya came aboard, Stepan started cooing around her like a peacock.
You should be happy. Katya is a tough girl. You'd be under her thumb in no time.
That is unlikely. I'm not the kind of man to upstage his friend in a contest for a lady. Especially when that friend promises to break my arm.
Oy vey.
I'll catch my stroke of luck soon enough. There in Yamantau, women from all over the country have already gathered, waiting for yours truly. How about you, Demir? What made you go?
Well, at first I just went along with you guys, the Colonel. But even then I thought, this is my chance to make my dream come true. A chance to see Kazakhstan, my people.
I was right, he does come from Kazakhstan.
But first, we must come back to Moscow. Because it isn't fair. People must know that they've put up with enough. They are free. They can live outside now. What do you think about that, idiot?
I'm with you, Demir. Yet, freedom is not so simple. There was this freedom fighter, Che Guevara. He died under 40. Comrade Mao, whose book you've been perusing on the other hand, was a strict ruler but lived a long life.
And they were both evil.
Well, we should have expected that from you. Weird thing, though, is that you are called idiot.
I know. It's by his own choice. Because he's so fond of Chekhov.
Chekhov too, of course. But it's Dostoevsky for the most part, Sam, my friend.
Sure, I read the book too.
Dostoevsky, is that the guy that...
Chekhov wrote about that son of Austerlitz, a wounded officer. Powerful imagery.
You are just killing me. How about you, Uncle Sam? Got dreams?
You know, I just want to ride my board again. Spark a joint up on a beach. Catch that wave. Deep inside, under a grizzled metro dweller, there's still a relaxed Californian inside me.
Ah, get out of here!
So you know, before Dad talked me into joining the Corps, I used to wear my hair long. He told me they'd make a decent citizen out of the total disappointment that I was, and sent me to college once I was discharged. I joined, and they sent me to the Middle East.
Wow, so do you hope your guys would pick you up? I don't see them around.
Yeah, I don't hold my breath for my guys. Once this mission's over, I'll submit my discharge papers. I'll reach the ocean, and there... find a ship, maybe?
Oh, yeah. Just imagine it. You arrive on that ship, and they go like... Ah! The Russians are coming! You are one of us now. You don't really need to go anywhere.
At least don't put your Ushanka on. They will sink you on sight.
I won't. Though I will take my balalaika with me.
Well... Who has any expectations for our reception at Yamantau?
Well, your expectations, Alyosha, are quite obvious, huh? Scantily clad junior officer ladies unrolling the red carpet.
Yeah, I'm a simple guy. How about you guys?
Well, I hope they will answer a few questions. For example, if there is not a single American within hundreds of miles from Moscow, save for our friend Samuel here, why stay on the ground?
I'd put it a bit differently. Did you, dearest High Command gentlemen, know that we in Moscow had to spend 20 years on the ground?
Oh, by all means, you can ask those while I'm enjoying my briefing with the junior officer ladies, huh?
I don't know. I'm in the mood for a road trip.
Oh, we got ourselves a true traveler here.
Yeah. We will have to live and see.
You are right.
Aw, empty. Where'd he go?
It was another.
There he... Oh, so this is where he sleeps.
Here's one of my favorites.
That was a long conversation. Yeah. I think, had we gone the violent route, Duke would have died. I think. Ah, piano. Wonder if I'll be able to play that later. Aw, rabbits. Probably for food. Speaking of food, fish and meat, either pigs or venison. Well, the boss man wants to talk. Let me shovel a bit. Little fireman for the driver.
Listen, I had a talk with the Ark. All thanks to Tokura. He got the decoder working.
Really?
Ark, come in. Come in, Ark. Over. This is Ark. Identify yourself. Over. This is Colonel Skittlesworth beyond the coast speaking. I'm in command of a special operations force. We have received your signal and are currently heading your way. Do you copy? Over. Yes, yes. Hear you loud and clear. Who am I talking to? How do I address you?
Small.
I have a squad of the best operatives the special forces have to offer. A squad? I see. Well, this is great. Great!
He's not pleased.
We are a large force, but we bring a message of extreme importance. We are heading towards you from Sector K6 Alpha. Do you have any data on enemy forces we might encounter on the way? Over. In just a moment, I have to check. K6 Alpha, you say? As far as I can see, there have been no enemy encounters reported in the area, Colonel. I regret. I will end our conversation here, but know that we are waiting for your arrival. I am making my report immediately, and I am sure the Minister of Defense will be eager to see you.
I don't trust this guy.
Great honor. Thank you. Just a few words more, though. What is the general situation, Sir Major? Please. Colonel, sir, you do understand this is classified information. But I do understand you. We are doing fine. Do not worry. Well, see you in the attic. Over and out.
I don't buy it.
Over and out.
Something's fishy.
So, do you get this now, you doubting Thomas? I'm so excited my hands are still shaking. The minister himself. This is incredible. By the way, Artyom, you should take a look at the map.
I don't
As
trust.
you can see, we're heading almost straight for the Yamantau complex. Katya and Kress tell me that the line there is in decent condition. Surprising, really, taking into account the number of priority targets there. So we can hope for smooth sailing from here, and right to the very destination. It's not even that far, but our speed depends on the state of the track. So I think it's going to take us quite some time to get there. So, Yermak, where were we?
You were saying, it's all about the results.
Ah, yes. These soft-bellied attitudes must stop. The ends, too, justify the means.
Well, I don't object. But not all ends can be called just.
Exactly. And this is why I have been waiting for a chance like this for ages. And now everything seems to be coming together. It's the government. Don't you understand?
Oh, but of course.
You don't seem to quite grasp the importance, which is unexpected, especially after the news you just heard.
Yes. Well, say there is a government. So what? We spent so many years apart, so why worry now?
Ah, but don't you see? They probably knew nothing about us. With the sheer power of enemy strikes directed at Moscow, they never expected so many of us to survive. And now we get to tell them Moscow still lives.
Barely.
And not only that, it also preserved a functioning civilization. Do you get that? All these years we were fighting a losing battle for mere survival. And now we have a new goal.
And what would that goal be?
You don't get this, do you? The command center should have all of the command and control networks, all the intelligence. They should know where all the nukes hit, have complete fallout maps. They have everything. Information rules the world.
That is true.
And Metro is chock full of people. Put two and two together, we could repopulate the country. Of course, not at once. First, we might have to take the country back. But we'll be doing this under the direction of a real government. People with all the necessary skills. And in the end, we will break out of the underground dead end we are in.
It would be nice, sure. By the way, I meant to ask for some time now. How did you learn about the Yamantau bunker, Colonel?
Oh, The information about the Ark project I have is beyond a doubt. I'm saying this as a crew officer. I have colleagues working there, preparing evacuation plans. So I've been briefed into it officially.
So, now we just have to get there. And we will. We will. The journey won't be easy, though.
We were never looking for an easy way.
Yes. I've been thinking about that for a long time. The Central Industrial District, a priority target. Katya did confirm my suspicions. The tracks might have survived partially, but the state they're in now is most likely terrible. I think we'll have to fix sections of the track.
Yeah.
I think our people can handle it. Besides, I'm sure there will be sidetracks.
What do you think could have happened in the relatively intact territories in the meantime?
That's a good question. Well, we are going to learn it pretty soon.
Oh, rotted from lack of maintenance.
Yes, that we will.
Or taken over and made into something else. So are they just broadcasting that signal for 20 or so years? Until someone finally eventually responded? Oh wait, we can do it, can't we?
Let's talk business for a change. Namely, the engine status.
All right.
Is the pump in order now?
Yes, we have fixed it. Around 3 hours if we don't have to clean the filters.
Do we have any spares just in case?
We do, but not the whole set. Just the rough one.
Shame. Have we got oil at least?
Oh, sure. We have enough to get to Vladivostok if need be.
Well, I doubt we'd have to go that far. But at least something is in abundance. The pipes.
As I have told you already, it's high time for an overhaul. Crest and I did our best removing the line buildup, but...
Well, we just can't afford that. Are you finished with all the checks?
looks like it. But
yes, that can't hurt.
Yes, we have fixed it.
Okay. So on the word
Around 3 hours if we don't have to clean the filters.
in the words of the coal train,
We do, but not the whole set. Just the rough one. Oh, sure. We have enough to get to Vladivostok if need be.
oh, they're repeating dialogue. Anyway, in the words of the coal train from from Gears of War, wow!
As I have told you already, it's high time for an overhaul. Chris and I did our best removing the line buildup, but
Woo woo! I love the trains.
But let's have another go just in case.
They're repeating dialogue, so no need to. In there. Old abandoned villages. Cool. This is cool. I like this. Station, a freight car. This is cool. Action adventure post-apocalyptic game with horror elements. And finally, after 2 games, legit train gameplay, if you could call it that. I love it. Uh-oh, we're going in water. Is it me or is the... Are you kidding me? The train is floating above the rails. It doesn't go down completely. Or did it and I just didn't notice? No, the train was hovering literally right off the rails. It didn't even splash or anything. Come on, 4A. I mean, I praise the amount of detail you've been able to squash in, but really, you couldn't have added a bit of that. Come on. Not even a splash effect or at all. Well, I'm gonna go check the rest of the train before I set it to anything else.
It was another.
Here's my room. The Carve and the girl are still going at it.
Oh, Artyomich, another smoke break. Good.
No thanks.
This, light thing. Pick it up, huh? Well, you can't do anything about it. Looks like you're having too many smokes. Family trouble?
Nope.
That was a joke. A joke. Just stand here. Let's talk some more. Now, you people in Moscow, you used to live underground. I guess that's why you all look kind of pale. Quite different from my place. I hail from Kadui village. It's near Cherepovets. You heard of it? Yeah, well, no wonder. Our place was the middle of nowhere before the war. There was no point spitting at us, much less wasting bombs. So, it wasn't all that bad at the start. The townsfolk were joking that it was a good thing since their credit slates were all wiped clean. But when the nuclear winter came, they weren't as merry anymore. Didn't used to be that hot even before that, but now, even the fucking thermometers froze.
Be careful what you wish for.
Though I wasn't really educated or anything, I'd always liked science, so I knew the winter would come. The moment the bombs started falling, I knew I had to move south before the snow got too thick. Fixed an old truck, hopped on, never looked back. Didn't even come close to the large cities. Moscow and such, they were the main targets, of course. The villages weren't much better off, though. There was awful shit going on. Atrocities of the kind you don't even want to recall. Yeah, at the time I was getting kinda unhinged myself. The first winter I spent alone in a lair like a bear. Took over a grocery shop's underground storage. Food kept well in that cold. And that cold lasted a few years, with frost bouts happening even in the summer. Became impossible to survive alone, so later on I would try to find company for the winters. Some were good people, others were real assholes. As the years went by, the good people became more of a rarity, you know. And some really nasty animals started appearing too. Near the areas bombed to rubble, the forest turned red. Always red. And there emerged those two-headed deer. What? They are real lookers.
Two-headed deer.
And they eat, well, even worse than they look. There's this mutant nettle that grows on dead bodies and always moves like it's alive. Well, you will know it when you see it.
I don't think I want to meet it.
So that metal is what they eat. That's how the locals find it. When you see a deer, that means there's a body nearby. The deer just wait for the nettle to grow. Boy, does it grow fast. The locals dry it and smoke it. Oh, those smokes were the roughest I've ever had. No wonder, really.
Gesundheit.
So, I basically ended up going all over the place, almost reached Astrakhan. The winters there were a bit better, but that place had problems of its own. I mean, the local bandits have been capturing people running from the cold, selling them further south. I had to run in with them too. Had to present my truck to one asshole there.
You had to give it away.
So soon I fixed this rail car and started trading stuff, earning some cash, masquerading as a bandit not to stand out too much. But let me tell you, watching the things they did was too tough. So, as soon as the sky cleared and winter receded, I decided to move east. Since there's a lot of space there, not as many people. And on my way there, I got stopped by Silantius and his cult, and...
Then we met you.
That's how it goes, bratucha. That's my story. Life sure is interesting.
Indeed it is. One more check of my stuff, just in case. I'm still pretty satisfied with what I have as it is. So I'm gonna leave it.
So, what was it? The Colonel is always right, and we're just filling our heads with dumb ideas?
Pretty much. And also, 20 years, you know, what does the government become?
Like living in a fairy tale. A prince has rescued his princess from a monster-infested dungeon and is taking her to his magic kingdom where they are going to live happily ever after. Do you think we're going to find that kingdom in the end? Though, if it's with you, I'll be fine anywhere. Live happily ever after is the most important part as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I hope, darling. I hope. Oh, I hope.
Do you think that when we come back to Metro, they will believe us? They, who live there, bury their folks there, feed their children with rat meat. I agree with Father when he says it was the only way to preserve civilization. But what do you think they will find easier to believe? That they'd be able to get out to the surface and live there like they once did? Or that they'd spent 20 years underground for nothing, just because secrecy demanded they stay there? Just because they didn't have the fucking security clearance? I simply don't know, Artyom. I only know that even if we ever go back there, and it's a big if, I'm definitely not staying.
Yeah, who
My
would?
home is here, somewhere, on the surface. I just don't know where yet. And thank you, Artyom. No matter what Dad says, thank you for leading us outside. I'm sorry. All right, I'll stop going on.
Well, I had every right to do it. This is nice.
Leaving already? Well,
Unfortunately.
go get them, Tiger.
Row. Huh. Artyom's typewriter.
Here's one of my favorites.
Well, they emptied that vodka, but what about this one? Well, don't want to leave alcohol to go to waste, right? Oh, he drank it already. Ah. Frickin' what's his name?
Do we have any spares, just in case?
We do, but not the whole set. Just the rough one.
Well, hello, my brother in arms. Need a warm up, huh?
Give him a break, then go
Well,
save.
by all means, be my guest. I've been thinking here, how did Silantis manage to fool people so quickly and so thoroughly? Charisma, animal magnetism, something in that faith of his. It is a well-known phenomenon, actually. As soon as hard times hit, people's ability to think rationally shuts down. When there is danger, or lack of food, an animal wakes up inside any Homo sapien. That animal, usually safely dormant, rears its head again. And what does that animal need? Not much, but a leader, some food, and an enemy. The animal does not respect complex categories. It prefers a simple, black and white world with no shades of gray. This fact, by the way, was always appreciated by the powers that be. As soon as democracy seems to be leaning in a way that they don't like, well, they start a war, or go witch hunting. If you make people feel threatened, they immediately go looking for a strong leader. They're even ready to eat less, only to alleviate the threat. You think Silantius, had you not introduced that fate of his, would have stayed in power for long? Of course not. Power needs ideology or religion. They are essentially the same thing. And usually, people don't even want to figure things out. They just want to get rid of anxiety, born from the complete and utter purposelessness of their existence. They also want an easily understandable goal, which they single-mindedly pursue all their lives, and their minds are close of impending death.
Idiot is quite the philosopher.
Tired already? Try doing it for a day.
Oh, I imagine, especially in this heat.
Alright, give me the shovel and watch it slide.
Okay. Ah, we can't jump up here.
Well, I doubt we'd have to go that far. But
As I told you already, it's high time for an overhaul. Christ and I did our best removing the line buildup, but...
well, we just can't afford that. Are you finished with all the checks?
Looks like it. But let's have another go, just in case.
Okay, well, that was a very, very long part. We went, got the tugboat, infiltrated the bridge. Excuse me, by the way. Got Silantius to let us go by being non-violent. Much as it kind of disappoints me because, you know, I kind of wanted to kill that son of a bitch, but oh well, it is what it is. And but at least we got his catfish, so he'll be overthrown within a month, maybe. Who knows? And yeah, I got to spend some quality time with my squad mates as well as my lovely wife. And went through a bunch of stuff, and yeah, we're done with the Volga River. Now we got the next area to go to, and all the goodies and dangers that will go with it. So that'll do it for today's parts for Metro Exodus. So far, so yeah, I'm liking what I see for the most part, despite a few nitpicks, but other than that, it's good. So, when I come back tomorrow, hopefully, if I have time, because relatives are here and we're going to be doing some stuff tomorrow, hopefully I'll have time to do it, but, we'll cross that bridge, that railroad. We'll cross that railroad bridge when we get to it, right? So, have a good night. See y'all later, and das vidanya.